that leads from Dos, New Mexico, and Area 51 in Ethiopia, where they can take bodies and snatch them into Ethiopia, Africa. You get what I'm saying? So, not only that, but now they have gray boxes. They might have started putting them up. I know they got them in Alaska. They got gray boxes now where if we walk past these gray block boxes, they are only in the projects in low-income neighborhoods. They can read your DNA, the information in your melanin. And what happens is, when you're young, you don't know that they're shooting chips up in you. They can pick up on your data and say, okay, he has something in his DNA that we need. Next thing you know, they're kicking down your door. And you wonder why they're kicking down your door. They saying, yeah, somebody ran through the house. The neighbor said somebody was fighting over here. And they shot you down. Now, it wasn't because of that. It's because the data, these satellites they have on these telephone poles, these telecommunication systems is sending the DNA from your body through these satellite systems to their monitors. And they saying, oh, we can use this DNA right here. We can make a movie off this DNA. Because your DNA, you have enough DNA in your body to wrap around from here and to the inner earth of the sun 100 trillion times. That's how much DNA you have. That's how many cells you have in your body. Your DNA can go from here into the inner earth 100 billion times and wrap around every single sun, moon, and star. Matter of fact, that's what it's doing. You get what I'm saying? So it's much bigger than what we think it is, because even right now we have portals around us. People saying Big Brother watching us. They ain't watching us out of space. They watching us because they have portals around here. They even got hybrid birds, hybrid cats and dogs that they put in our communities. They have cameras in them, and they monitoring us by way of the animals in our community. The birds, the animals, the dogs, things like that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So, and then they create them at the Chemical and Biological Warfare Department in Fort Detrick, Maryland. What they can do is they can send birds into your community, and they got this on the weapons list, the military's weapons list, where they can push a button and let off chemicals. And then the next thing you know, everybody's dropped dead. What they call it AIDS, or say the Zika virus is out. You get what I'm saying? So it's chemical and biological warfare with us, because they know that chemicals is one form of energy. That's one of the 5 forms of energy. You get what I'm saying? So they use that against us because the chemical DNA is more potent and more dominant. So they have to use chemical in order to try to suppress us on a physical note. But on a spiritual note, they don't know how to do that yet, and they will never know how to do that. Because by the time they try to learn how to do that, they will be trapped. All of them are going to be trapped. You get what I'm saying? If you only knew how big your spiritual brain is, you have worlds in your spiritual brain. You alone, just one person, you have about 1 billion planets just in your spiritual brain. You are controlling worlds inside of your brain right now, and you don't even know it. But if you are in a good state of mind, your frequency is high, all of your worlds are heavens. All of your streets is paved in gold. No religious shit.
Right. Exactly.
The people that live in your world. You see, right now we are in somebody else's brain. And they are fearful because we are allowing these people to create emotions in us. But if we were to stop, if all black people was to stop being fearful, it ain't that hard. It ain't about us pulling our kids out of school and stop working for these white people. If every single one of us was to stop being fearful right now, the energy that we have will come down and they will be through.
Yeah, and they know that.
Atom bombs.
Yeah.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki, all over again. Not just in one geographical area though. You get what I'm saying? But the whole universe. We are in somebody else's brain right now. Being controlled on how to live in somebody else's brain. We are not living in an enemy's brain. This is Mother Nature's brain that we're living in. And Mother Nature said, if we stop being stressed, she can give us the weather that we need to make these people go extinct. But we so stressed and we asleep. So Mother Nature said, I ain't got enough thinking power to help you out. We're not honoring our mother. Fuck the father. We're not honoring our mother because the father lives in the mother. The father wouldn't be without the mother. So when you honor the mother, you automatically honor the father. Let's honor the mother first. Everything else falls in place.
Okay, I got a question. Because I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago, and you know how they always have in the Bible, the woman came out of Adam's rib and all this stuff like that. Could you enlighten?
Well, if the woman came out of Adam's rib, then Adam got a belly button. Every man got a belly button, right? Meaning that at some point in time, we had an umbilical cord attached to some type of feminine energy. Right? That's all I'm going to say.
That's what's up.
So I have a question too. You were mentioning they are depositing chips in our kids when they're younger. Is that like immunizations?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
I was going to ask you about that.
They are doing it when they're young. You see, these microchips, they have 7G microchips. See, everything, they put it right in front of our face, but inside of the technology that we are enjoying today. They are the same chips that they put in our children, they put inside the cell phone, the internet, and all of that stuff. You have to understand that Verizon Wireless and all these other cable companies, they have money and they are third parties. They invest inside of these hospitals. These chips, they make the chips that goes into these needles that goes into our body. Chips can be smaller than a grain of sand. And people talking about somewhere, they talking about we're going to have to get the RFID chips. No, you already got it. Anytime the government or the European tell you they're about to do something, they already done it so they can stay ahead of you. They've done it already. They've been doing it. They've been doing it since slavery. I ain't talking about slavery as far as us being hung on a tree. I'm talking about they've been doing it ever since they suppressed us. And another thing, too, I stepped off subject. The Europeans would have been extinct before the United States for America, when it was a republic. The United States of America came in with the reptilians. They were going extinct, so the reptilians said, you know what? We'll cut a deal with you. And we'll allow you to still run this government. You'll be our face. So that way you won't go extinct. This is when the reptilians started to come from underground in Hollywood and say, what? Just let us take over hip-hop. Remember, that's around the time they started taking over hip-hop, right? They said, let us take over the movie circuit. They started taking over the movie circuit. Even your black television shows, they started taking over that, the Cosbys and all of that. So when the United States of America came from the United States for America, this is when the reptilians came and abducted the Europeans. You remember the time they said cows were missing, white women were missing, and all of that stuff? This is when the beginning of the reptilian start to rule. This is when they started to rule. This is when they had that meeting in Jekyll Island, Georgia. Around this time, it stretched all the way into Jekyll Island, Georgia, when all these damn representatives and people who went down there, Rothschild's children, and all of these people from Habsburg Dynasty and Rockefeller, they went to this one island and they were there for a few weeks with these reptilians, bringing them bodies. They weren't just there meeting for legislation and laws and talking about who was going to take over the currency and who's going to control the legislation. They were meeting there to let them know that we're going to set up Hollywood. And what we're going to do is we're going to take every single melanated body, bring them to us and say, hey, you can rap, you can act, come over and sign this contract. But you go over there, sign contract, they take you into the basement, snatch your body. Now you come up out of the basement with no soul, and now they remote controlling you.
Okay, I got a question on that subject.
Mm-hmm.
When they're cloning black people, because I see that different things are happening with, like, okay, I'll give you an example, Beyonce. See, I'm trying to figure out, okay, when you're cloning black people, it's different. I know we have a soul, but when you clone them, I don't think they really understand what they're doing.
Right.
Because she's still waking up in her clone state.
Right. Well, number one, a lot of these celebrities are not actual clones. I think they have the same thing that they have, and the same chips that they have in them that people are putting in them when they go to the military. When you go into the military, they give you these chips where you see the movie Manchurian Candidate, where they can actually remote control you. If you look at, like I was telling you earlier, if you look at the video with her and Jay-Z at the basketball game and she's just looking like she's drunk, if you look behind her real good, it's a white lady behind her doing like this. You see what I'm saying? And what's happening is she might have a chip in her hand that's actually communicating with the chip that's inside of Beyonce's head. You remember when they shut down that hospital for Beyonce and said they shut down the whole floor and black people was happy, we got power. See, we ignorant people. We don't look past the picture. Even though the picture has 1,000 words in it, but sometimes you have to look past it. Because sometimes you can't look at the picture to see the picture. You have to look past it to see it. It's like you standing in front of a house too close, you can't see the windows. You have to back up away from the house in order to see into the windows. So this is what happened with that. They cloned her. They got her there. They put them chips in her. You get what I'm saying? And Jay-Z is nothing but a hybrid. He has mixed DNA. You know what I mean? He's nothing but a clone. He has mixed genes. He's a clone. Oprah Winfrey, all of them. They have cloning facilities and cloning cities underground.
And most of the real them is dead, right?
So to speak.
Right.
So to speak, because when you sell your soul, you through. I mean, you can't kill a soul.
Right.
But the thing is this right here. Even though I'm a teacher, I'm still learning. And my common sense is telling me that they can't, what they're going to do with your soul. If they can consist of a soul, it ain't nothing they can do with it.
Right.
Because you to come back to this plane, like this earth plane again, you can't hurt us. Even though you take our soul, you still can't hurt us. It's just that now they gonna have to come back until they get it right.
Right.
And they won't have no memory of what happened while they were here. And that's what makes it hard, because they don't have no memory. Now, if they were gurus, if they come from the planet of the gurus, which Dr.